All right, we are live on YouTube, and sad day. Very sad day in New England. Obviously, Tom Brady, the greatest player in NFL history, the greatest player in Patriots history, the goat, probably maybe the greatest player in the history of sports, um, is officially moving on. He announced it on via his Instagram this morning, and for Patriots fans, I mean, Spags, for you, man, have you ever watched another quarterback play quarterback for the Patriots?
Other than the year with Matt Castle, and that was miserable. But I was 11 years old then. No, this is my childhood. When
It's
Ortiz
crazy.
left, obviously retired, that was difficult because
Yeah.
that was my love for the Red Sox right there. And then Brady now, I mean, he hasn't announced anything yet. I'm assuming he'll go to another team, whether that be the Chargers or Buccaneers.
Right.
But I just really hope that this situation comes, just retire. just hit us with another, shocking news and just retire, because I can't stomach it. Him in
Yeah.
another uniform. I know we had been talking for weeks and it kind of seemed inevitable at this point, and you're almost talking yourself into the point that he's coming back. But this one hurts. This hurts.
It sure does. Yeah, it sure does. And it's just so frustrating. I mean, here's the one bright side for me. The one bright side for me. I feel like, and I talked about this and I wrote about this and we've talked about it a bunch of times. I feel like this is a Bill Belichick decision and not a Tom Brady decision.
Well, yeah, you saw
And
that Belichick was leading negotiations. Mike Reese had
right,
said that, and that Kraft usually intervenes. Not intervenes, maybe not the right wording, but is involved with it, right, to an extent,
right,
because he has ties to Tom. And it was all Belichick. Right there, you just had to swallow it a little bit. You're like,
yeah,
you don't know how this one's going to end. But like I said to you, we last night when we talked, it was one of those situations where if he came back, it was like, I told you, we were all so dumb for believing he'd ever leave us. And then the
yeah,
fact that now he's gone, we should have saw this coming. It's been going
right,
on for a year. He didn't want to go year to year, and it's been that way for the last 3 years.
yeah.
We should have seen it coming, and I would have said the same thing if he stayed. But
It's
it's
true.
just a weird situation, man. I don't know how to put it into words.
No, I mean, but you're 100% right. I mean, it's unfortunately it's a situation where the Patriots are now, you know, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but you're right in the fact that that's kind of the writing's been on the wall, right? Last year he was pissed that they wouldn't give him a long-term extension, and so he did the 1 year thing, and then this year it just seemed like that they weren't going to do anything longer term. It just seemed like they were saying like it's not going to happen. We're not doing anything longer than a year, and that's kind of been the rhetoric the whole time. And I just said, I don't know if I believe it, and so on and so forth. And you know, I, but obviously in this case, there's no way around it. Like they just said, hey, look, we're in the market for 1 year for Tom Brady, and it's funny because I almost said I've been saying all along, if Brady wants two and you want him back for one, give him two. That's what I've been saying all year, right? All off season. If he wants two, just give him the two and say, you know what? We'll screw it. We have a year where we don't love him, but it is what it is. But like, when has Bill Belichick ever done that? He's never done that. And now I'm going to expect him to treat Brady differently than everyone else. And I know he's
I
the
mean,
GOAT and I know it's the most
yeah,
important position, but like that's what he does.
and
He
it's
says,
almost like
no,
you
it's
expected
not,
him to do that, because if anybody got a free pass, it would be Tom.
right,
And it's like
right.
those two make the band go. I guess they've been at this for so long. It's interesting to see what they do now. Now, you don't want to say this, like, because he brought 6 titles here and just dominated for so long, but now on his way
Right.
out the door, it doesn't get easier. They got a
No, it doesn't.
$13.5 million cap hit,
Yep.
so you're handcuffed big time now. You're not in the market for a quarterback. You can't.
You're
I
not.
can't
No.
see them going out to sign a Teddy Bridgewater that everybody wants. You're paying 2 quarterbacks. It's
Right.
Jarrett Stidham right now, or a guy through the draft. It really is. And to be honest, as a Patriot fan, I've always said this, and I think this could be considered stubborn or bitter, I guess. But I've always been one to say when Tom goes, I want to root for a kid that was homegrown. I don't want to go out and trade for a guy. Like really, honestly, that's just
Right.
how the way I look at it. I'd rather them roll with Stidham, see what they got. They got a tough schedule next year. They're going out west. Like just roll
Hmm.
the dice right now that we're talking. Obviously, a lock and change from now to the draft. Roll the dice with him. See what you got. See what you got. Yeah. It's hard. It's you're handcuffed.
No, and that's 100%. I agree with you there, and we've talked about this already. But like at this point, it's Stidham or a rookie because why are you going to go out and pay Teddy Bridgewater $20 million a year? It just doesn't make any sense. And realistically, do we think any of these guys is the next guy? Do we think Teddy Bridgewater is the guy? Because I don't. I mean,
No.
Bridgewater was okay in New Orleans, but they tailored the offense to him. I mean, how many times did he really throw the ball downfield? How many times did he really read the entire field and not go to his first read? It wasn't a lot. And so to me, it was, we're going to tailor the offense to Teddy Bridgewater and give him $20 million a year when we're already paying Brady 13 point. Now, we're not paying Brady, but Brady counts for 13.5 on the salary cap. It doesn't make any sense. You have a guy on the roster that the coaching staff likes. They've been saying they like him all year long. Now, maybe that was because Belichick knew he wasn't going to bring Brady back, and so he was saying, "Okay, now we're gonna start talking up Jarrett Stidham a little bit because people need to be okay with the fact that Brady's leaving." And maybe that's okay, but at this point, you need to look at it and just say, "This is it. This is the quarterback moving forward," because it doesn't make sense to go out and pay for someone else. And you know what, Stidham, he might struggle this year and they might go 5-11 or 7-9 or whatever. And you know what? Belichick is kind of maybe sees that and
Accepting
says, "Hey,
that.
what are you
Yeah.
going to do?" Right?
Yeah.
Because we have to rebuild this team, and this team has to get rebuilt. And unfortunately, a 43-year-old quarterback isn't the time to rebuild your team. I mean, listen, we talked about it the other day. They have tons of holes, tons of holes. They need more wide receivers. They need interior offensive linemen. They need tackles. They need linebackers. They need safeties eventually. They need tight ends. Like they have tons of holes on this team. This team is not, a Super Bowl challenging team anymore. They're just not. And so why are you going to pay Brady for 2 years to stick around if Belichick looks at the roster and says, "Yeah, we can't compete with the Chiefs. We can't."
No, they
And
can't.
so
With or without him, and I don't want to, you know, make it seem like it's okay that he's. I even think with Tom Brady, you're not beating that team
right,
twice. You might
right,
get him. I mean, I shouldn't say that because I guess everything can happen any given Sunday, right? But that team they're good, man. Baltimore loaded up yesterday.
yep,
Michael Brockers, Calais Campbell.
yep.
I'm sure they'll be in the market for some. I mean that team's not going anywhere. Buffalo made a big. I mean,
Stephon
it's going
Diggs,
to be
yep,
tough.
yep.
It's going to be
It's
tough,
true.
and it's that window now where okay, where are we? What do we have? What do we have with Jarrett Stidham? Where are we in the draft? Is there somebody out
Right,
there that we like? Do we see what we got? And I think that's the plan. Kind of shifting focus now. It's what do we got with Stidham this year? If you don't like somebody, you really love somebody in the draft. What do you got?
right,
Roll the dice with him. No one's expecting much. It's the first time in 20 years you don't have number 12 under center. Roll
yeah,
the dice, see what you got. If he shines and he's a little raw and you think you might have something in years 2 to 3 and this is a learning year for him, fine. I'm okay with it. But it's that's the best situation they have right now. Unless, like I
right,
said, they find somebody they really like in the draft, and who knows? I don't
hundred
think they
percent.
have the team and how bad they are to have a chance at number one. But you never know. You get inside the top 15, you make a trade here and there. Who knows?
Well, and that's yeah, and so you don't know. I
I'm
mean,
speaking
but
non. I could
again,
be speaking nonsense right now. I just this whole morning is just
it's
it's a
brutal. I mean,
whirlwind.
it's tough. It's really hard. And just a step
Especially with the
away from.
lockdown now and the quarantine, it's just
I
you
know, and
can't.
it's
It's not like you can
yeah,
get away with it. You can't even get away from it.
no,
You can't.
no, and look, to step away from the Patriots for a second, because I don't think we did a good enough job talking about Brady. We just kind of skipped over it because it's hard, man. And
It
I
is.
listen. I was a kid when we had Bledsoe. Okay, I was born in '84, right? So I was, I was a senior in high school when 2001 happened, and so it's been that long for me with Brady, and now I'll be 36 this year, and I got three little kids, and they grew up just knowing Brady, and they were like, "Wait, Tom Brady's leaving? Like Tom Brady can't really be leaving." And it's what everyone's growing up on. And it's impossible to put into words what Tom Brady has done for this organization, what he has meant for this organization. He is, as I said, he's the greatest player in NFL history. He's obviously the greatest quarterback in NFL history. And he might be the greatest player in the history of sports. And so you look at it and just say, what he's done for this team, you can never say, you can never put it in words. You just can't. And I'm struggling to put it in words right now because I just can't even, like, anything that you say here isn't going to be enough, because he changed everything about, not only about the Patriots, but he changed everything about sports. And I think obviously him and Belichick are a package deal, right? You can't talk about Brady without talking about Belichick, and you can't talk about Belichick without talking about Brady. And now that's not going to be true anymore. Well, I think it will still be true, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future with them too. But man, like Tom, it just, the records that they have set will never be broken. They will never be broken these last 20 years. The record of the team, how many times they've won the division, how many, their record overall, it is mind numbing how much they've done it. And look, I mean, you think about it, 80% of Brady's career, they've been in the AFC Championship game. 80% of his career. That's insane. And so that's the type of stuff where it's like, you can't put a number on what Brady's done. You can't calculate what Brady has done. And it's a very sad day for Patriots fans. Even if you wanted to move on from Tom Brady, even if you said the writing's on the wall and we're ready to go, it's a sad day when it happens, because you look back and think, geez, like, now what? Like, now what? How could we possibly move on from that guy?
And that's, I think you summed it up perfectly, why it's so difficult, because you have that emotional tie to him, right? I mean, you said,
Right.
For me, born in 97, I started watching, like, it's my whole life, my whole childhood.
Yeah.
I'm an adult now. Now, I always said, like, I will mature and become an adult when Tom Brady leaves or retires. It's time for me to become an adult now at 22 years old. But, like, that's what's so difficult. And it's like this, you could never picture him in another uniform. Like, even if you, like, as crazy as it sounds, like, you fire up Madden and you get a fantasy draft and you put him on any team. It's not right. It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And there's never been a quarterback out there, I think, that just, it didn't seem right. I know Brett Favre did it, Montana did it, Peyton Manning did it. But for him, just the dominance that they've had, no one's had that much dominance at one organization for that long with the story that he's had. That's what makes it so difficult. And I think no other fans really in sports can relate to this. Like, we've talked about it a couple weeks ago. This was the biggest free agent news, everything, drama, saga going on since LeBron James, really the first time with the return. And even him, I mean, as highly touted and famous and amazing that he is as an athlete, he doesn't have half of what Tom Brady's done here. And coming from such a passionate city with sports first, this is like my mother said earlier, St. Patrick's Day will never be the same here. You'll always remember it as this, and you'll always remember where you are. It's
St. Patrick's Day. Jesus, that's what I.
Yeah. So it's that's what stinks. And I had always said, maybe before we were.
Hey, you had said we were going to find out on Tuesday.
Yeah,
you called it.
We were going to find out on Tuesday. I did. But I had said, I always pictured like people at bars in South Boston celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and it comes out and complete opposite. We're all home, self-quarantine, and Brady announces at 8 a.m. that he's leaving. So it was the complete opposite of what I had hoped. But I guess this will sting for a little bit, right? I mean, we'll have to get over this, use each other. As crazy as it sounds, it feels like you lost someone. It really did. Like, a part of your heart's gone. And I don't want to sound dramatic, but it is. It's tough, and you have to. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's not being dramatic. It's not saying, like, we love this guy and he's been around forever. And Robert Kraft just made a statement to ESPN. Mike Reese tweeted out. He said, Tommy initiated contact last night and came over. We had a positive, respectful discussion. It's not the way I want it to end, but I want him to do what is in his best personal interest. After 20 years with us, he has earned that right. I love him like a son. And I just I get like chills reading that. the thing about Brady is that what's different about him, he's not just a quarterback. He's not just a player, right? You feel like he's part of the team, like he's part of the organization. He's sacrificed so much, and he's never been the top paid quarterback, and he's always taken less money to stay here, and he's always done the right thing, and he's always been around, and like the other part about Tom is that I've never ever met a person that didn't have a positive interaction with him. I've never met one person
Just the
ever
way he handled
that said
himself.
he was an asshole, that he wasn't nice, that he was every single person that I know that I've ever talked to that has ever met him has been like, he's the nicest guy you could ever hope for. He's super sweet to everyone. He's just a good guy. And, having that guy as the face of your organization for so long has been a blessing. And, and really, unfortunately, there's really nothing else you can say. Like, I don't know how anyone can replace that. And no one will ever replace that.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, it just, and that's what makes it even more difficult because, and Kraft said it perfectly, like, it's not just that he's the quarterback, that he's the greatest player, because obviously losing the quarterback, losing the greatest player is difficult and really challenging, but he's so much more than just a football player. And that's what makes it so challenging for everyone involved,
Yeah, and it's interesting. I wonder how it'll be. And I always said too, and it's even more interesting now, and even needs to happen even more, is like a 30 for 30 type thing with the three of them sit
Yeah.
down in a room and just kind of talk about what went on and the secrets that maybe we didn't know about when this is, folded over generations to generations.
Right.
Obviously, who knows how long Robert will be around. He's obviously getting up there, but it would be very interesting, even just Tom and Bill, just talk and just like to the public, because we never knew anything. And I think that's what was so interesting too, was how long they could keep this going and how great they were at keeping everything in house. You never knew it. Like even today, obviously we
Right.
knew as it got closer, we figured Tom was going to be the one to announce it just because no one knew what was going to go on for the past 2-3 months. But it's really interesting. And I wonder how that conversation went, how the conversations were with Bill. And, I'm sure they understand it's a business and they do whatever way or viewpoint you have on them. Maybe they don't see eye to eye. I think both of them agree that, they respect each other enough to at least show, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think that it was probably definitely a tough conversation. I'm sure with Robert more than Bill, but I'm just interested to see how that all went down. Right.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And so then obviously leaves questions down. The biggest question, and I don't want to be on here for too long, but the biggest question for me is where's he going next? And I think the curiosity for me is, and we talked about this the other day, like how many, Belichick's done the same thing with pending free agents, with McCourty, with Hightower, with Will Fork. He's done it with everyone. Go out and see what's there. Go out and see what's there, and then come back and let us know. And I wonder if Brady was like, I'm not doing that. Give me your best offer, and then we'll see what happens. And Bill kind of said, like, no, I'm not. Like, you go out and see what's there. I'm not negotiating against myself. You go out and see what's there, and then come back and let me know. And, and I wonder if some of the negotiating tactics that Belichick has used on players in the past
has
backfired on him in this situation,
And the
so
other thing is too, what we said last night when we talked, we just called each other right before bed, ironically, and we were kind of saying it was a game of cat and mouse.
Right.
It was like the Patriots, dared him to go somewhere else and kind of said, like, you won't do it. Like, you'll always come here. And Brady was kind of like, like, don't mind me if I do. Like, I'll go somewhere. It was kind of like who's going to draw first blood. Were the Patriots going to snap and be like, okay, here's your money? Or was Brady just going to be like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I'm coming back. It was just a game of cat and mouse. And I think ultimately Brady won. And I think because he's held the cards for the first time in his career, he had the freedom to go out and do that. And when you give someone an inch, like,
Well, which is true, but I will say, and like I said earlier, I think it was a Belichick decision. I just have to say,
for sure,
for me, I really wish that it had ended before last year. I wish that he had gone out after winning his sixth Super Bowl and then said, I'm not coming back. It's time to turn the page.
His last pass is a pick six.
I mean, that's just, and not only that, but you got to think the final two games he ever played for the Patriots, not only for the Patriots, but also at Gillette Stadium for the Patriots.
Or crushing defeats.
were crushing defeats in which in the last minute of the game he threw pick sixes in both of them. And now the game was over in both of them, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like they were gonna win and they were just holding on and he threw a
Wait, did
pick
he throw a
six.
pick
The game
six
was over.
versus the end of
He
the game
sure
versus
did.
Miami? Versus
Logan,
Miami?
Eric Rowe.
Was that at the end of the game?
Yes, it was.
I can't remember. I was at the game.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty
shocking.
sure that was the end of the game because
I mean, whether it was the end of the game or not,
either way,
he threw two pick sixes his final two games.
two pick
And
sixes.
his last pass was a pick six to
I mean,
Logan Ryan.
And that's the tough part. Like I don't like, and I don't think anyone, I don't
No,
think
that's not their
anyone
last view of
would
him at
ever
all.
remember
No.
him like that.
Exactly.
But just the fact that it's there,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they struggled so much last year and they had such a hard time, and it's almost like, man, just like if it was going to end like this, just have it end after the 2018 season.
Yeah.
6 Super Bowl.
That's a good point.
You get the throw to Gronk and everything else, and that's why the Gronk thing hurts. But it's like he went on top. Gronk went on top, and he finally had that that one like image, right? That one like where it's like if you want Gronk. If you want to like see what Gronk was all about, there's
the catch over Eric Berry and then that catch in the Super Bowl.
Right. And it's like that's it. That's the play right there. And Brady's got a million of those, and so he didn't need any more. Obviously,
it's just a sour taste at the end. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and that that can be difficult. But look, I mean, we're gonna have to move on without him, unfortunately.
Jared Stidham season.
Well, and listen,
hop on the wagon, baby. I've been saying it since preseason. This kid's good, and you did too. Tell the story,
bro. So I got all right. So I got media credentials.
Make us feel good. That made me feel good last night.
I got media credentials for one game. It was the in-stadium practice. So the Rodney Harrison induction and then the in-stadium practice. I got media credentials for, which is pretty cool. So so I'm there and whatever. I'm in the press box during practice, and I said, Stidham's out there playing and whatever. And I said, Jared Stidham is the next starting quarterback for the Patriots. And they were like, what, are you insane? Andy Hart laughed at me, was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, how could you ever say that? We've seen nothing of him. And I said, look, he does what the Patriots like. He's a quick decision maker. His release is fast. He does what the Patriots like to do. And he's a mobile guy. He makes
the right decision. He can that's what I think. He's just simple. Simplifies the game.
Honestly, in training camp, he reminded me of Jimmy G. The first time I saw Jimmy G, the first time I saw him, he reminded me of Jimmy G. Just in the decision-making process, just in getting rid of the ball quickly. That's all. Look, I don't know how he's going to play on the field, but just seeing him in practice, that's what he reminded me. Now, of course, he went 2 for 4 with a pick 6 in the regular season, so clearly it hasn't translated to the football field yet. But I think that if the Patriots are confident in this kid, that we just say, look, what are you going to do? Like, I wanted Bill Belichick making the decision. That's what I wanted. I said, when we move on, and Felger's been saying this for years, when we move on, I want Belichick picking the next guy.
Because look at his history, man.
That's it. And he's made lots of mistakes. All right.
Yeah, for sure. But look at the quarterback position. Castle, right. Jimmy G,
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, Brissett, yeah. Like recently, really, I know you had the Ryan Mallett sprinkled in, but like, was that really a pick for the future? Like, he drafted him when Brady was like late 20s, right?
Correct.
Like, that wasn't that was a trade piece down the road. He had a cannon of an arm.
Yes.
For guys that he had viewed, I know Castle was different. Like, he just stepped in and played really well, but Garoppolo, Brissett, those recent quarterback picks have been spot on, and everything you've seen from Stidham and heard about him, he's right up there. I mean, obviously we'll see, and we're basing it off training camp, preseason, all that stuff. But like I said last night, they learned last year from the Rob Gronkowski situation not to wait.
That's correct.
Because it's gonna handcuff them and screw them over in the end. The fact that they allowed this to go on so long, maybe it was waiting on Tom, and I'm sure a lot of it had to do that. But they probably felt like our backup plan can't be that bad if we're willing to do this again, because they learned at that tight end position that they really screwed up. It affected them with Jared Cook, through the draft. Gronk waited till after the draft, right? I believe it was, or a couple weeks before.
I think it was before, but either way.
Really, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they must have felt confident enough where it's like, okay, if he does go, worst case scenario, we can see what we got with Stidham.
Right. And again, I think that what it comes down to is Belichick was comfortable. Belichick was comfortable moving on from him. And he might have said, look, this year, in 2020 will be better with Tom Brady. However, we're not going to, I'm not going to mortgage the future for an extra year or two with Brady where we're going to be better without him. And Belichick, again, cold-hearted, like that's what he does. He makes those decisions where he says, you know what? This is the way it is. And Tom, if you're going to take 1 year and you're going to take short money, we'll take you back. If you're going to demand 2 or 3 years from us, it's not going to happen. We're not going to do it. And, yeah, look, it sucks. And Mr. Brady, Tom Brady Sr., said years ago that it's not going to end well. He said it years ago, right? And for years I've been saying, oh, he's wrong. And here we are. And look, did it end poorly? I don't know. I mean, you have Kraft coming out and talking about it. We'll see what Belichick has to say about it. Obviously, you never want to see Tom Brady leave. You wanted to see Tom Brady leave when either he retired or he died. And like, honestly, like if he had played until he died, I would have been like, fine, whatever, dude, just keep going. Roll him out there. I don't care. It's just, that's the tough part for me, right? Is it's like, let's see what happens, So anyways, so let's
the show goes on.
Yeah,
we'll be here.
The show goes on. There'll be I'm sure we'll have another emergency podcast from either us or someone else when he eventually signs with another team.
I can't do it. Someone else do it. I'm done here. I'm gonna go sit in my room all day
it's a day of mourning for the region of New England, for all Patriots fans everywhere. But you know what? The plus on the plus side, okay, on the plus side, all those damn bandwagon fans that are just fans, because this and that, and some of those people might be going away, and so it's not what I want necessarily, but let's see who's a real fan out there and really cares about the team, and look, it's gonna be hard because I'm gonna be rooting for Brady still until they play the Patriots.
Yeah. My brother said it best. Now you get 2 games a week that you're emotionally invested in. So there's a bright side. You're going to be rooting for him. I'll root for him no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. If he goes to the Chargers, by the way,
we get him.
The Patriots are in LA this year against the Chargers. So
and they're in Tampa next year. Or Tampa comes to us next year, assuming those are the 2 places that could potentially he goes. And you're getting him this year, next year, because one of those teams is giving him 2 years. So you're seeing either Tom Brady, which I don't want him to come here. I mean, maybe next year, we'll be over it and accepting of it. But thankfully, both those teams don't come here. But Tampa comes here next year because we went there 3 years ago. So next year they're due to come here.
I'll tell you something right now. Okay, in 2007, the Colts came here. 2006, 2007. I don't know what year it was. The Colts came here with Adam Vinatieri. And some idiots in the stands booed Adam Vinatieri for leaving.
Yeah, no one will do that.
I swear to God, if anyone, listen to me, Patriots Nation out there that you're listening, we got four viewers on YouTube right now. Anyone that's listening right now, if you're in the stadium and Tom Brady comes in for an opposing team, okay, and someone near you boos him,
throw a beer at him.
You have the right to throw a beer at him and punch him in the face.
Yeah,
never doesn't matter. It can't happen.
No, I don't think people will.
I don't think so either. But that, like, when people booed Vinatieri, I was like,
there's some a-holes out there.
Idiots. Yeah. So that's so we'll see. But anyways, all right, that does it. Like I said, day in mourning for the Patriots, for Patriots fans everywhere. But life goes on, and then we'll see what happens. I can't put a positive spin on this. Okay, so I'm not going to. It's a terrible day for Patriots fans everywhere. And what are you gonna do, Tommy? We love you. We miss you already. And best of luck, brother.